Welcome, gamers! Today, we dive into the ultimate stress test. We're challenging the GameHub Emulator on an Android device powered by the MediaTek Helio G85 chipset. Can this humble mobile processor truly bridge the gap between demanding PC games and true mobile performance? Prepare for a technical breakdown of 30 games to find out just how far this emulation can be pushed. The results might redefine your expectations for low-end hardware. The open-world complexity of Grand Theft Auto 4 presents a significant challenge to the GameHub Emulator. Performance analysis on the Helio G85 shows extremely low frame rates, fluctuating between 5 and 10 FPS. This highlights the heavy CPU overhead required for rendering Liberty City. The ambitious goal of running Grand Theft Auto 5, a visually demanding modern title, results in minimal emulation success. Frame rate evaluation indicates a severely unstable performance, typically ranging from 1 to 5 FPS on the Helio G85 chipset. Batman: Arkham Origins, a visually rich action-adventure game, demonstrates the difficulty of complex 3D environments on this platform. The observed frame rates are marginal, settling between 10 and 15 FPS, suggesting major optimization hurdles on the Helio G85. Under Night In-Birth 2 benefits greatly from its 2D fighting game architecture and consistent visual style. This title achieves a highly playable state, with performance stabilizing near 50 FPS on the Helio G85, proving the emulator's strength with less graphically intensive games. The stylized action-adventure of Prince of Persia 2008 shows moderate emulation capability. The frame rate analysis yields a decent result between 20 and 25 FPS, offering a relatively smooth experience given the limitations of the Helio G85 hardware. Mafia 2, set in a detailed 1940s open world, shows a viable but inconsistent performance on GameHub. Data indicates frame rates fluctuating between 15 and 25 FPS on the Helio G85, often dipping during high-speed driving or complex scenes. The heavily modified need for speed. Most wanted Redux run surprisingly well, likely due to optimized base code. Frame rates are high, consistently ranging from 40 to 60 FPS on the Helio G85, demonstrating excellent compatibility in this specific instance. The classic racing title need for speed. Underground 2 maintains a solid, consistent performance. The game stabilizes at around 30 FPS on the Helio G85, proving its efficiency in emulating older, well-optimized racing physics. Devil May Cry 4 Special Edition demands fast, real-time action rendering. The frame rate sits between 20 and 25 FPS on the Helio G85, classifying the performance as adequate, but potentially too slow for high-precision combat. The open-world traversal and complex crowds of Assassin's Creed 2 severely impact emulation. Frame rates range from a low 10 FPS up to 20 FPS, confirming significant strain on the Helio G85 when processing large-scale environments. The arena fighting mechanics of Naruto Shippuden, Ultimate Ninja Storm 3 struggle with 3D environment loading. Performance metrics place the frame rate between 10 and 15 FPS, which is below ideal playability standards for the Helio G85. Similarly, Naruto Shippuden, Ultimate Ninja Storm Revolution displays compromised emulation quality. The game operates between 10 and 15 FPS, a rate insufficient for the quick reactions required in this specific genre on the Helio G85. LEGO Harry Potter, Years 1 to 4, with its predictable physics and block-based geometry, performs well. The frame rate consistently achieves 30 FPS on the Helio G85, providing a smooth and entirely playable experience. The survival horror atmosphere of Resident Evil Revelations 2 is functional but choppy. Frame rate analysis shows a difficult range of 10 to 15 FPS, which complicates action sequences and limits visual fidelity on the Helio G85. Transformers: Devastation, known for its cel-shaded, stylized action, performs moderately. The frame rate is observed between 20 and 25 FPS, which is acceptable for the flow of combat on the Helio G85 platform. Transformers: Rise of the Darkspawn presents a heavier load due to its detailed graphics. Performance drops to a challenging range of 10 to 15 FPS, limiting the playability of the high-octane action on the Helio G85. Sonic and Sega All-Stars Racing shows reliable performance for a kart racer. Frame rates are stable between 20 and 30 FPS, indicating that the emulator handles the simplified track geometry efficiently on the Helio G85. The large-scale battlefield of Samurai Warriors 4-2 with many on-screen enemies is demanding. The performance metric settles between 15 and 20 FPS, limiting the fluidity of mass combat on the Helio G85. The benchmark for the classic third-person horror of Resident Evil 4 is solid. The game consistently runs at a smooth 30 FPS, showcasing the emulator's ability to handle older, well-optimized titles effectively on the Helio G85. Resident Evil 5 requires more intensive graphical processing than its predecessor. The observed frame rate is marginal, staying between 15 and 20 FPS, which limits the action horror experience on the Helio G85. Resident Evil 6 is one of the most demanding titles in the series. Performance is unstable, ranging from 10 to 20 FPS, confirming that the Helio G85 struggles to maintain the pace of this modern action game. The challenging environments of Tomb Raider 2013 push the emulator to its limits. Frame rate analysis reveals a poor performance between 10 and 15 FPS, making complex traversal and combat difficult on the Helio G85. Street Fighter X Tekken, a competitive fighting game, requires high stability. Performance is very good, ranging from 25 to 35 FPS, providing a near-ideal experience for its genre on the Helio G85 platform. The dynamic environments of LEGO Star Wars 3: The Clone Wars run well on GameHub. Frame rates are observed between 20 and 30 FPS, which is entirely adequate for this type of casual adventure on the Helio G85. LEGO The Lord of the Rings provides a smooth experience, with frame rates stabilizing between 20 and 30 FPS. This suggests effective emulation for the visual requirements of the game on the Helio G85. The high-speed destruction of Burnout Paradise taxes the emulator's processing power. Frame rates are marginal, settling between 15 and 20 FPS, which compromises the fluidity needed for fast-paced crashes on the Helio G85. The fast-paced action brawler Deadpool shows limited performance. Frame rate metrics indicate an inconsistent range of 10 to 15 FPS, which significantly hampers the combat experience on the Helio G85. The atmospheric horror of Outlast is marginally playable. The frame rate drops to 10 to 15 FPS, which is sufficient for exploration but detrimental during critical chase sequences on the Helio G85. Transformers: The game, an older title, shows good compatibility. Performance is stable between 20 and 30 FPS, offering a solid and enjoyable action experience on the Helio G85 hardware. Castlevania: Lords of Shadow 2, a visually heavy action title, struggles on the emulator. Frame rate analysis shows a difficult range of 10 to 15 FPS, confirming major performance bottlenecks on the Helio G85. That concludes our deep dive into the GameHub emulator on the Helio G85. The compilation proved that titles like Need for Speed Most Wanted Redux can run smoothly, while games like GTA 5 show the current technical limits. What game performance surprised you the most? Let me know in the comments below. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Vanzee Gaming. See you in the next one.